finally getting around to reviewing Wakanda Forever, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever isn't as bad as a lot of people say. Of course, it has its flaws. Some people have different opinions about certain things. The the underwater part, it just fascinates me. And some people say, oh, well, that wasn't my favorite part, and that's cool. And also, my beloved Angela Bassett is in it through most of the movie, and my one of my other beloveds, Julia Louis Dreyfus, she's in there. One of the people I saw it with said that she was completely miscast, but at least she was in it. So, yeah, this movie actually does have some intelligence behind it, and it's a trip. And the underwater people were fairly ominous, like in the previews. Granted, the main underwater bad guy, the winged feet still reminds me of Mercury. Some people didn't like that, and also this particular. Apparently, he was another version of the serpent god, who was a guest antagonist decades ago on Star Trek: The Animated Series. One of my favorite episodes, "How Sharper Than a Serpent's Tooth." That was sort of like the Who Mourns for Adonis of the Bill Shatner generation, but hey. So, I mean, there's a lot going on here, and considering that, any pressure, the pressure that there must have been to even try to be comparable to the first movie without Chadwick Boseman, there must have been so much pressure, but I think they handled it as well as they could. Of course, there's going to be some flaws. I didn't think that the plot was a mess and that it was all over the map. Some people might have thought that, but there are some dilemmas here. I'm sure that the Wakandans would love to share their technology, but I can understand their reasons for not doing so. And some people might be paranoid, thinking that the Wakandans are just hiding something and they're going to blow up everybody else and all this. Well, Wakanda sure would be at the very least a nice place to visit. It's sort of an idealized utopia. And I understand they're trying to protect it. And, they still, of course, the Wakandans still wanted to help the outside world their way, because if they just handed stuff to them, there would be, and not only that, but we know that the government is just going to weaponize it. Whatever, geez, sure they would have weaponized the herbs in the movie, and I don't know if the cloning T'Challa would do much good, because they'd have to get a whole other actor or some or like that. So I'm sure you could tell in the previews, who the new Black Panther is. And all I could say is I had a good time. It had its flaws, but all in all, it was it was a good Marvel movie. Somehow, some people seem to think, oh, it's junk because it's the MCU, like they're so afraid of women. The same people said, oh, Doctor Who is horrible now that Doctor Who is a woman. Oh, and it's like Doctor Who was supposed to be for boys. The comics books were too. I guess Wonder Woman was supposed to be for boys too. Well, it kind of is, but some people say that Wonder Woman in the preview shouldn't have been catcalled. Girls, it's like that girls need them, but apparently a lot of guys don't think boys need any females being heroes. I'm not saying that's the only reason that Star Trek Discovery is hated. But anyway, this movie has a lot of action. It has a lot of story. it seems to hold up under, it doesn't quite, in my opinion, seem to buckle under its own weight, but some people have said it does. It's understandable, but it's just a matter of opinion. And of course, there is a mid credit sequence that's kind of foreboding. So you've probably seen this movie, and if you haven't, go see it for yourself. Stick around for at least a lot of the credits. See what I'm talking about. Unless you can't wait and you just go to Wikipedia and read the whole plot synopsis all the way down to the mid-credit sequence or pre-credit sequence. But I recommend the movie. I just recommend that people give it a chance. A lot of people, it's like a lot of people haven't, just because they seem to resent, She-Hulk and all the women in there. All the women in. So I guess in DC, there wasn't too much of that. There's Wonder Woman, and some of the women in the Batman comic books were among the bad guys. I guess, some guys like that. I'm sure some females do too. So anyway, give this movie a chance if you are so inclined. And that pretty much wraps it up. We'll see you at the movies. Ciao.